Hi, everybody. It's Rita at Gold Medical Jobs. Hello. It's the 2nd of March, 2020. And so I'm wondering, what's my title? Hiring? Just ask and answer a few questions. So I'm thinking if you're hiring, it's good to review what worked or didn't work in the past. So I've got some questions here. Let me see. First, do you need to hire? Right? Okay. Are you looking ahead? Are you short-staffed at the moment? Do you need full-time employees? Do you need people with experience? So are you hiring, and what is it that you need? Okay, second, what's at the top of your list? Is it the administrative job? Is it the licensed, what do I want to say, advanced practice nurse, administrator, LVNs, CNAs, medical assistants, psych techs? What's at the top of your list for what you're hiring? And then review what you used to recruit in the past and how successful it was. Finding lots of people is one thing, but finding the most qualified people, finding your specific employee is more important. So if you're really looking for CNAs, or you're really looking for an RN with administrative skills, supervisory skills, and you get RN students that don't even have their license yet, you get dozens of them from your recruiter, then they're not really listening, or you're not really stating what you need. So you have to be specific about what your needs are, and how you recruited in the past, and is that working? Do you want to try something a little different? Some recruiters do have lots and lots of people on their list in their database, but have they talked to them recently? And have they met your needs, and how long does it take them to meet your needs? I know travel nurses, for example, they are starting sometimes halfway through their 13 weeks, halfway through their 90-day assignment. They're already thinking about the next best town that they want to visit, or if they're really happy where they are in Hawaii, can we stay? Can you sign me up for another 90 days? They don't want to wait till, say, their assignment ends the last day of March. They don't want to get assigned on the last day of March. They want to know late February, early March, what the next best thing is. I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn that sound off on incoming calls. So sorry. So sorry. Let me fix it. I'm sorry. I'm so technologically goofy. I apologize. So taking care of that. Get that sound off of there. Done. Okay, so am I hiring, and when? Am I hiring now, or I'm knowing that I'm losing a couple of CNAs because they're going out on maternity leave? I'm going to need temp staff. So what's your hiring all about? Evaluate your hiring. Okay, right away today, find where's your biggest need. Start with the most important first. Maybe you're thinking about some supervisory positions, but your 2 CNAs that are going out on maternity leave at the end of the month, that's what you need to cover first. So prioritize what you need right away. Third thing I recommend is evaluating what recruitment processes that worked in the past, and what didn't work, or what did work, and how you're going to go about your hiring. And in that, I think it really, that leads to number 4, in knowing what you need, describing your best candidate. So I know when I had a nursing agency and I was hiring nurses and I was hiring schedulers and credentialers and coordinators, that I saw the best qualities. Like if I could put a little bit of this employee and a little bit of that employee and a tad bit of that third employee and mold it into one person, I knew what my ideal employee looked like. Some of the best qualities in employees are integrity and dependability and a pleasant personality. And it doesn't matter if they're fast learners or slow learners or moderate learners. It's that willingness to learn is key, and whatever skills they're bringing to the table, you want to direct them to utilize those skills, but be flexible enough to maybe learn a few more skills. So maybe they're really good at, data processing and inputting, and they're shy on the phone, and that's okay. You can work with that. But if you're communicating with a lot of hospital personnel and nursing, various nursing personnel or clientele in a senior residence, or maybe you're a front desk person, maybe you have to answer the phone quite a bit. So look at those and see if that's something they can learn, because communication in any job is going to be important, but depending on the job is how important it is. So, so kind of have that profile of what the best candidate looks like, and a 9 out of 10 is pretty good. And that willingness to learn, that extra 10% is key as well. And what else did I put on there? Okay, so when you're looking to hire employers, have you thought about gold medical jobs? It's a different way. It's very, very quick, and it's a different way. We're not recruiters. We are a meetup place for employers and candidates. So RNs and CNAs and medical assistants and respiratory therapists come to Gold Medical, put in their profiles, put in their areas of expertise, and what part of the country they're interested in working in, whether or not they're interested in part-time, full-time, per diem, travel. That information is there. They do that for free. And the employer, for a nominal fee, you can put in your information. So now the matchup happens. Okay, if you need medical assistance with strong blood draw skills, maybe, or respiratory therapist with neonatal skills. So all these little specifics you get to put on your site. And so for a nominal fee, you can put as little or as much about yourself as you want. You can list all your jobs. So we're a meetup place. It's a little different, but it's very, very easy to navigate, and it may just work for you. If it's something you haven't tried, it's an awesome opportunity to seek out your next employee. So yeah, we're not recruiters. We're a recruiting meetup site. So it's sort of the host and the guest, right? So the clients are the host. They get to host their own, whatever it is, surgery center, clinic, hospital, convalescent, rehab, all the different places that need healthcare professionals. You get to put a picture of yourself out there, and then the nurses, well, the key thing would be if something in their profile matches up with something in your request. So if it's an RN with geriatric skills, say, or an R or a CNA, or maybe an LVN or LPT or LPN with skilled nursing experience or rehab experience. So those keywords will bring up your your business, your company, and you get to find one another. So please check out the site. That's something that maybe you haven't experienced before. Probably not, because I don't really know anybody but Gold Medical that is providing this kind of service for healthcare professionals. So Monday, I want to suggest that you start your week with maybe a promise to yourself, or a, what is it? Not a mantra, but a pledge or something. So I'm going to suggest that you start your week off on a note of, I will be responsible for how I feel this week. I will be responsible for my job search. I will be responsible for any mistakes I make along the way. I won't blame others for whatever happens in my week. And I'm talking about your work week, but I'm talking about your week. And I'll be responsible for my health and keeping myself healthy and getting enough sleep. I'll be responsible for my happiness, my successes, my predicaments, my problems, my little ones and big ones. I mean, if somebody hit your car, it's not your fault, and may not be their fault either. Maybe somebody hit them. I've been in a pileup, and it was about 2 or 3 guys behind that had a little too much to drink on a Friday afternoon. So we were in the predicament. It became our problem because now we have a damaged car or a hurt shoulder or whatever happened as a result of it. But be responsible. Don't blame. Just figure out your plan and get on with it. So that's my Monday coaching is promise yourself that you will take complete responsibility for your work week, for your let's break it down to just a week, not for your life, but this week in your life. Take responsible for what's going on, how you respond to it. And if you're seeking a job, you take the responsibility. Don't sit around and wait for a recruiter, an employer. Don't sit around and wait for the right person to come to you. Figure out what in your mind, on paper, on your spreadsheet, what does that great employee look like? To me, a great employee is dependable, has integrity, shows up on time. I almost never, ever, in my many years of hiring for a staffing agency and hiring nurses to staff, I almost never hired anybody without 2 interviews, because people can look good and sound good. You know, they can play that game like, this is who I am, Mr. or Mrs. Perfect employee. But at least a minimum of 2 employees. And if you have an office manager, or if you have a partner in business, let more than one personality interview. Because I know one time I did make a mistake in hiring. We started off okay, but there was a lack of integrity in this young man, but he reminded me of my nephew. And that skewed my thoughts going forward as to whether or not this was a good match for the team. So oftentimes I would bring in other team members after I learned my lesson the hard way and employed this fellow for quite a while. Had to let him go. He was just not a good employee. But, and I probably hung on to him for too long. But at any rate, have a picture of what your ideal candidate is, and try to get a 9 out of a 10. As far as a 10 out of a 10 is really good, but only so much. And I always told employees too, when I was hiring, that my probation lasted 90 days and beyond, but usually within the first 30 days, Particularly when you're hiring a full-time employee, you know whether it was a good match or not. And yeah, so usually benefits didn't start for 90 days. Evaluation was ongoing. Doors were open for questions to be answered. And I just seem to be rambling on, but to healthcare workers and healthcare employees, I wish you a great week. I'll check in with you again. And gave you your Monday pledge for yourself to be responsible, and to yourself and to your attitude and your health and your what occurs in your week. Blaming is just so futile. So scratch that out. And that's about it. That's all I wanted to say. Have a beautiful week. Spring seems to be somewhere, coming somewhere. I can't complain in Southern California. We get a little bit of sun every day. We're getting quite a bit of sun. It's a little cooler and very, very nice because we had a little rain over the weekend. But for those of you in 20 and 20 below, stay warm, stay healthy. Oh, you know what? I'll give you some COVID-19. The coronavirus, COVID-19 is its new term for the coronavirus. I think that everybody's calming down. I think we're getting a handle on it in San Diego. We've already talked about some vaccination successes in creating the vaccine. And a huge, huge thing during flu and virus and coronavirus season is just good preventative practices. Wash your hands, sing happy birthday to yourself, wash them in all the nooks and crannies, get the cuticles, get between there, do some really good hand washing, whether you're using sanitizer or you're using soap and water, sing happy birthday, 20 seconds minimum, wash, friction, warm water, don't boil, don't get rid of your first line of defense by boiling your hands. So good hand washing, good protective measures. Remember to cough into your elbow and wash your hands whenever you're concerned. Like when I leave a supermarket, I use hand sanitizer. Before I go in a supermarket, I use hand sanitizer. When I get home, before I touch any of the food, I wash my hands. So I think we're going to be okay. And don't overreact. My son-in-law told me he actually had the H1N1. He got that swine flu and he was quite young when he got it, but he's still quite young. But everybody's fearful, right? Fear, and that paralyzes you sometimes. So take a deep breath, use good protective practices, cover your mouth, wash your hands, get plenty of rest. See you next time. There's my thumbs up. No coronavirus here. Thank you.